The lesbian gods smiled down on Kaylee and Kirsten's wedding. Took place in Winnipeg, Canada. Why were the lesbian gods so happy? Because Kristen Stewart and Stella Maxwell, they are girlfriends, they are models and movie stars and just all around lesbian icons, crashed their wedding. What am I talking about? Let me break it down for you. After Kaylee and Kirsten wed in a nearby backyard, they and their wedding guests headed over to Pizzeria Gusto for the reception. At one point, however, the restaurant's owner pulled them over and asked if it was okay if Stweart, who's filming the movie JT Leroy in Winnipeg, came in for some drinks. Stweart had a connection to the owner of Pizzeria Gusto, who had catered an event for the actress. Not surprisingly, the brides had no problem with the Victoria's Secret model and Stweart coming to their wedding celebration, so they all sort of hung out from like 10 p.m. until 1 a.m. I believe we have a photo. Let's take a look at this. Woo. Like the night of your life. And this is from the awesome. DJ, and they just apparently they were really cool guests. They hung out. They didn't overshadow the bride. It seems like everyone had a really cool time. It's kind of a comedy of errors that they wound up there. But I mean, if you're a lesbian lady, Kristen Stewart is a big deal for you.
Crash
so this is cool.
the wrong word for what they did.
Yeah, but there isn't really another word for it.
They like glued it together.
No, they didn't, because their wedding would have been fine. It wasn't like a broken wedding before. But you're right. So we have.
It was a terrible wedding.
The expression is like
before they got there.
You crash a wedding. Wedding crashers.
Yeah.
So that's what the headlines are. Kristen Stewart crashed a wedding, but it wasn't like Kristen Stewart and Stella Maxwell rolled in drunk and was like, "Let's some dishes are here, whether you like it or not." When I was in Twilight, fuck you.
I love these kinds of stories.
Yeah. So they just sort of they popped in. I guess they popped into the wedding. I love this story. I'm also, a side note from reading this article was that she's filming the movie JT Leroy. They're making a movie about JT Leroy, which is a story I always kind of wanted to cover.
What is the story? I've never heard of it. I feel like Kristen Stewart only does indie movies now.
Yeah, it's kind of Murder with Friends-esque, except without any murder. So in short, JT Leroy was this acclaimed author, and he had this very sort of mysterious persona, always wearing a wig, sunglasses, and had this really tragic story. It was called, the book was called The Heart is Deceitful, among other things. They turned it into a movie with Marilyn Manson, and I believe the Sprouse twins were also in it. And it was this indie sort of strange movie, but tragic. It was about like sex workers and a troubled family home, and it was all supposed to be based on the real life of JT Leroy.
Got it.
And then JT Leroy was always very strange and came out as trans at one point in time, but then we came to find out years, after this was all sort of unraveling, that JT Leroy never existed. JT Leroy was a fictional person.
What?
And JT Leroy's was basically being played by a friend of the actual author of the book who was posing as JT's cousin or manager or sister or something like that. So it's a really crazy story because it was this book that people couldn't believe that it was true, but it felt so raw and authentic it had to be true. Who could think this up? And then it was totally a lie. So I wonder, I guess
that does sound Murder with Friends-esque.
It's very, because there was so much deceit on every level. A lot of people, believed that this person was real, and some people were saying that JT was was an icon, was their role model, and so brave to go through all this and like write down their story. And then it came out that this was like into dust. This was never a person that existed. And I'm not sure about the casting on this, but if Kristen Stewart is playing JT, and hopefully we can throw up a photo of JT Leroy when that was a person that they were presenting as, and Kristen Stewart, and show that they actually, I can see Kristen doing a good job as JT if that's who she's cast as.
Yeah.
But that's not really what this story is about. This story is about love and the happiest day of your life.
Does it matter who it is if they crash your wedding?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. If Charlie Sheen were to roll up on my wedding day.
No, you wouldn't let him?
I think he's a nice guy. That said, I don't know him and I have no desire for him to be there. But there's certain people that could roll up that maybe I wouldn't think of, that then I would be happy if they showed up. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think like if a Kardashian were to roll up on my wedding, and I didn't know them, that would feel a little bit like they're taking the attention away from my day. What's cool about this story is that it really seems like the brides, it was this strange occurrence that happened, but they weren't looking for any attention. It wasn't like Kristen Stewart was like live, like Instagram living the wedding, being like, guys, crazy.
Yeah,
thing.
she's not like that. She was chill about it. No, she's not like that at all.
Super chill. I would love if like Lana Del Rey could roll through. I feel like she'd be a really cool guest too. She feels really low key. Even though I'd love for Selena Gomez to crash my wedding, she'll be at my wedding because she will be married.
And like cry. She would cry really hard.
She'd serenade us.
Yeah.
Who would you want to crash your wedding?
Charlie Sheen.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
You're just trolling me, garbage man.
I am. I don't know, like, it'd be cool if like Tom Hardy showed up. I just saw Dunkirk and like I'm back into Hardy.
You're such a dude.
I'm one of the Hardy boys.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
Tom Hardy would be really cool, but only if he covered his face. If he rolled up with like a napkin, being like, "Have a great day, Amir." Guys, we want to hear from you in the comment section below. Who would you like to crash your wedding? I guess that's the term we're going with. What do you think about this story? Had you heard about the story of JT Leroy before? I would love to hear everyone's thoughts on that saga in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we will see you next time on Pop Trigger.